Introduction. The concept of culture wars describes the intense conflicts that arise between groups holding different cultural values, beliefs, and practices. These clashes often occur in societies experiencing significant social changes, where traditional norms are challenged by new ideas. The term gained prominence in the late 20th century, particularly in the United States, but the phenomenon is global. Culture wars can involve debates over moral issues, religious beliefs, and social policies. They reflect deeper disagreements about identity, values, and the direction in which a society should move. Understanding culture wars is essential for navigating the complexities of modern diverse societies. These conflicts are not limited to any one area of society. They permeate politics, education, media, and daily interactions. They can influence elections, shape laws, and affect how communities function. The stakes are often high because the outcomes can redefine societal norms and values. As societies become more diverse due to globalization, migration, and technological advancements, the potential for cultural clashes increases. People are exposed to a wider range of beliefs and lifestyles, which can lead to misunderstandings and tensions. Culture wars are therefore a critical aspect of contemporary social dynamics. In this text, we will delve into the origins of culture wars, examine historical and modern examples, and explore their impact on various facets of society. We will also discuss the roles of media, politics, education, religion, and technology in fueling these conflicts. By analyzing these elements, we aim to gain a comprehensive understanding of how culture wars shape and are shaped by the societies in which they occur. Ultimately, we will consider strategies for resolving cultural conflicts and fostering a more inclusive and harmonious society. The origins of culture wars. Culture wars have their roots in the fundamental human tendency to form groups based on shared values and beliefs. As societies evolved, people developed norms and traditions that defined their identities. When these norms are challenged, it can lead to conflict. The origins of modern culture wars can be traced back to periods of significant social change, such as the Enlightenment, which questioned traditional authority and introduced new ways of thinking. In the late 20th century, the term culture wars became widely used in the United States. This period saw rapid changes due to civil rights movements, feminist movements, and shifts in social attitudes. These changes challenged established norms related to race, gender, and sexuality. Conservatives and liberals often found themselves on opposing sides of these debates, each advocating for different visions of society. Globalization has also played a significant role in the origins of culture wars. Increased migration has brought diverse populations into closer contact, leading to a blending and sometimes clashing of cultures. The internet and mass media have exposed people to a multitude of perspectives, some of which may conflict with their own. This exposure can create tension as individuals and groups struggle to reconcile new ideas with their existing beliefs. Economic factors contribute to the origins of culture wars as well. Economic downturns and disparities can exacerbate tensions between groups. People may seek to protect their interests by clinging to traditional values or resisting change. Political leaders may exploit these tensions for gain, further deepening divisions. Understanding the origins of culture wars requires examining these complex and interrelated factors. Historical examples. Throughout history, culture wars have manifested in various forms. The Renaissance is a prime example, where new ideas about art, science, and humanism challenged medieval traditions. This period saw a shift from a focus on religious doctrine to an emphasis on individual expression and empirical evidence. The clash between the old and the new led to significant cultural and intellectual transformations. The Protestant Reformation in the 16th century was another significant cultural conflict. It challenged the authority of the Catholic Church and led to widespread religious and political upheaval in Europe. The Reformation questioned established religious practices and doctrines, leading to wars, persecutions, and the reformation of societies. In the 20th century, the civil rights movement in the United States fought against racial segregation and discrimination. This movement challenged the status quo, leading to significant legal and social changes. It was met with resistance from those who wanted to maintain existing racial hierarchies. The resulting conflicts highlighted deep-seated divisions within society. The feminist movement is another historical example of culture wars. Advocating for women's rights, it challenged traditional gender roles and sought equality in various aspects of life, including the workplace, education, and politics. This movement faced opposition from those who believed in maintaining traditional gender norms. These historical examples illustrate how culture wars can drive societal change while also causing significant conflict. Key issues in modern culture wars. Modern culture wars often center around deeply personal and moral issues. Debates over same-sex marriage have been prominent, with advocates arguing for equal rights and opponents citing traditional definitions of marriage. The legalization of same-sex marriage in many countries reflects a significant shift in societal values but continues to be a point of contention in others. Abortion is another key issue, with pro-life and pro-choice advocates holding fundamentally different views on women's rights and the rights of the unborn. This debate touches on legal, ethical, and religious considerations, making it a highly polarized topic. Legislation and court decisions related to abortion often reignite these cultural conflicts. Gender identity and transgender rights have become increasingly prominent in culture wars. Discussions about bathroom access, participation in sports, and legal recognition of gender transitions have sparked debates. Supporters advocate for the rights and recognition of transgender individuals, while opponents may argue based on traditional views of gender. Other issues include debates over immigration policies, freedom of speech, and secularism versus religious expression in public spaces. These topics reflect deeper disagreements about national identity, diversity, and the role of tradition versus progress. Modern culture wars are complex and multifaceted, often involving overlapping issues that affect various segments of society. The role of media. Media plays a pivotal role in shaping and amplifying culture wars. Traditional news outlets, social media platforms, and entertainment channels can influence public opinion by highlighting certain issues and perspectives. Sensationalism and the focus on extreme viewpoints can exacerbate divisions by portraying conflicts as more widespread or intense than they may be. Social media allows for rapid dissemination of information and misinformation, which can fuel misunderstandings and heighten tensions. Echo chambers form when individuals engage primarily with content that reinforces their existing beliefs. Algorithms that curate content based on user preferences can contribute to this phenomenon, limiting exposure to diverse viewpoints. Media framing is another critical aspect. The way issues are presented can shape perceptions and emotions. Language choices, imagery, and emphasis on particular aspects can influence how audiences interpret events. Biased or unbalanced reporting can skew public understanding and contribute to polarization. However, media also has the potential to educate and bridge gaps. Responsible journalism and open platforms for dialogue can foster understanding and promote empathy. Media literacy is essential for audiences to critically evaluate information and recognize biases. The media's role in culture wars is thus both influential and complex, capable of both dividing and uniting societies. Political polarization. Culture wars significantly contribute to political polarization. As cultural issues become intertwined with political identities, individuals align themselves with parties or groups that reflect their values. This alignment can lead to a widening gap between political factions, making compromise more difficult. Political debates become not just about policy, but about fundamental values and identities. Polarization can lead to gridlock in government, where opposing parties are unwilling to collaborate. This stalemate can hinder the development and implementation of effective policies, affecting areas such as healthcare, education, and economic reform. The inability to find common ground can exacerbate societal problems and erode public trust in institutions. Political leaders may exploit culture wars to mobilize their base, using divisive rhetoric to gain support. This strategy can deepen divisions and create an us versus them mentality. Campaigns may focus on cultural issues rather than practical solutions, diverting attention from pressing needs. The impact of political polarization extends beyond government. It can strain personal relationships and community cohesion. Families, friends, and neighbors may find themselves at odds over political and cultural beliefs. Addressing political polarization requires efforts to promote dialogue, empathy, and a focus on shared goals. Impact on education. Education systems often become arenas for culture wars. Debates arise over curriculum content, such as how history is taught, or whether to include topics like evolution and sex education. Conflicts can occur over the inclusion of books that address controversial themes, leading to calls for censorship or book bans. Policies related to language instruction, dress codes, and disciplinary practices can also reflect broader cultural disagreements. For example, discussions about accommodating religious attire or hairstyles linked to cultural identity can become contentious. Decisions about these policies can impact students' sense of belonging and inclusivity. Standardized testing and educational standards may reflect certain cultural values, potentially marginalizing students from different backgrounds. The emphasis on particular narratives or perspectives can influence how students understand their society and their place within it. Educators may struggle to balance diverse viewpoints while meeting educational objectives. Addressing these challenges requires open communication among educators, parents, students, and policymakers. Inclusive approaches that respect diversity can help mitigate conflicts. Education has the potential to bridge cultural divides by fostering critical thinking, empathy, and an appreciation for multiple perspectives. Religion and secularism. The tension between religious beliefs and secular principles is a common feature of culture wars. Issues such as prayer in schools, display of religious symbols in public spaces, and laws based on religious doctrines can lead to conflicts. Balancing freedom of religion with the separation of church and state is a complex legal and social challenge. Disputes may arise over policies that affect religious practices, such as regulations on attire, dietary restrictions, or observance of religious holidays. Religious groups may feel that their rights are being infringed upon, while others may argue for secular policies that apply universally. These conflicts can test the principles of pluralism and tolerance in a society. The role of religion in legislation, such as laws related to marriage, reproductive rights, and education, can further fuel culture wars. Religious convictions may influence policymakers, leading to debates over the appropriateness of such influence in a secular government. This interplay affects not only domestic policies, but also international relations in a globalized world. Promoting dialogue and understanding between religious and secular groups is essential. Recognizing the value of religious freedom while upholding secular governance can help navigate these tensions. Education about different beliefs and fostering respect for diversity can contribute to resolving conflicts. Globalization and cultural identity. Globalization has increased interactions between diverse cultures, leading to both opportunities and challenges. While it can promote understanding and cooperation, it can also threaten cultural identities. Some individuals and groups may feel that their traditions and values are being eroded by foreign influences, leading to resistance and conflict. The spread of global media, multinational corporations, and international policies can impose dominant cultural norms on local communities. This influence may be perceived as cultural imperialism, sparking movements to preserve indigenous languages, customs, and practices. The tension between embracing global connectivity and maintaining cultural heritage is a significant aspect of modern culture wars. Immigration is closely linked to globalization and cultural identity. As people move across borders, they bring their cultures with them. Host societies may struggle with integrating newcomers while preserving their own cultural norms. Debates over multiculturalism, assimilation, and national identity reflect these challenges. Addressing the impacts of globalization on cultural identity requires policies that respect diversity while promoting social cohesion. Encouraging intercultural dialogue and celebrating multicultural contributions can help mitigate conflicts. Balancing global engagement with the preservation of cultural heritage is a delicate but important task. Social movements. Social movements are catalysts in culture wars, advocating for change or the preservation of traditions. Movements such as Black Lives Matter, climate activism, and LGBTQ+ rights campaigns bring attention to issues of justice, equality, and environmental sustainability. These movements challenge existing structures and call for societal transformation. Conversely, conservative movements may seek to maintain traditional values and resist changes perceived as threatening to societal norms. Examples include groups advocating for traditional family structures, national sovereignty, or religious principles. These movements may oppose policies related to immigration, globalization, or progressive social reforms. Social movements utilize various strategies, including protests, advocacy, and engagement with political processes. They can raise awareness, influence legislation, and shift public opinion. However, they can also intensify cultural conflicts by highlighting divisions and provoking backlash from opposing groups. Understanding the role of social movements requires recognizing their contributions to social progress and the potential for creating polarization. Supporting constructive dialogue and peaceful advocacy can help ensure that social movements contribute positively to society. Collaboration across movements can also foster unity in addressing shared concerns. The role of language. Language is a powerful tool in culture wars, shaping perceptions and influencing emotions. The terminology used in debates can frame issues in specific ways, affecting how they are understood. For example, terms like pro-life and pro-choice in the abortion debate carry inherent value judgments that shape public opinion. Political correctness and inclusive language are themselves subjects of cultural conflict. Advocates argue that language should evolve to reflect and respect diversity, while opponents may see changes as unnecessary or restrictive. Debates over pronoun usage, derogatory terms, and historical terminology reflect broader discussions about identity and respect. Media and political rhetoric often employ language strategically to persuade or mobilize audiences. Metaphors, slogans, and narratives can reinforce group identities or stigmatize others. The manipulation of language can contribute to misunderstandings and escalate tensions. Promoting mindful and respectful language use is essential in mitigating culture wars. Encouraging open dialogue about language and its impact can foster understanding. Education on media literacy and critical thinking can help individuals recognize and challenge manipulative language. Technology and digital culture. Technological advancements have transformed the landscape of culture wars. The internet and social media platforms enable rapid communication and the formation of online communities. While this connectivity can promote global understanding, it can also create echo chambers and facilitate the spread of misinformation. Digital algorithms often reinforce existing beliefs by curating content that aligns with users' preferences. This personalization can limit exposure to diverse perspectives, reinforcing divisions. Online anonymity may also embolden individuals to express extreme views without accountability. Cyberbullying, harassment, and the proliferation of fake news are significant concerns. These issues can inflame cultural conflicts and harm individuals and communities. The viral nature of online content means that conflicts can escalate quickly and reach wide audiences. Addressing the challenges of technology and digital culture requires a multifaceted approach. Implementing regulations that promote transparency and accountability, enhancing digital literacy, and encouraging ethical technology development are important steps. Leveraging technology for positive engagement can also help bridge cultural divides. Economic factors. Economic conditions play a crucial role in culture wars. Economic disparities and uncertainties can exacerbate tensions between groups. Those facing financial hardship may feel threatened by changes that they perceive as endangering their livelihoods or social status. Globalization and technological advancements have altered job markets, leading to job losses in certain sectors. This can create resentment towards policies or groups associated with these changes. Immigration, trade agreements, and automation are often focal points of economic-related cultural conflicts. Economic policies can become intertwined with cultural issues. Debates over taxation, social welfare, and healthcare may reflect deeper values about individual responsibility versus collective support. Economic stress can also lead to scapegoating of marginalized groups, intensifying cultural conflicts. Addressing economic factors in culture wars involves promoting equitable economic policies, job creation, and support for communities in transition. Recognizing the interconnectedness of economic well-being and social cohesion is essential. Policies that foster economic inclusivity can help reduce tensions and build stronger societies. Immigration and multiculturalism. Immigration introduces new cultural dynamics, enriching societies but also posing challenges. Debates over immigration policies reflect concerns about national identity, security, and economic impact. Cultural differences can lead to misunderstandings and fears, fueling cultural conflicts. Multiculturalism promotes the recognition and inclusion of diverse cultural backgrounds. While it can enhance societal richness, it may also lead to debates over integration versus assimilation. Questions arise about how to balance respect for cultural differences with shared societal values and norms. Policies related to language education, religious accommodations, and cultural celebrations can become contentious. Some may view these policies as essential for inclusivity, while others may see them as divisive or threatening to national unity. The rise of nationalist movements in various countries reflects these tensions. Addressing issues related to immigration and multiculturalism requires policies that promote integration, respect, and mutual understanding. Supporting community programs, education, and dialogue can help bridge cultural gaps. Emphasizing common values while celebrating diversity can strengthen social cohesion. Resolving cultural conflicts. Resolving culture wars involves fostering dialogue, empathy, and understanding. Encouraging open communication between opposing groups can help identify common ground and reduce misunderstandings. Mediation and conflict resolution strategies can be employed to address specific issues. Education plays a vital role in resolving cultural conflicts. Teaching critical thinking, cultural awareness, and emotional intelligence can equip individuals to navigate differences constructively. Schools, community organizations, and media can all contribute to this educational effort. Policy interventions may include creating inclusive laws and regulations that protect the rights of all groups. Promoting transparency and accountability in governance can build trust. Collaborative decision-making processes that involve diverse stakeholders can lead to more equitable outcomes. Ultimately, resolving cultural conflicts requires a commitment to shared values such as respect, equality, and justice. Recognizing the humanity in others, even when disagreements exist, is essential. Building bridges across cultural divides strengthens societies and promotes a more peaceful and prosperous future. Conclusion. Culture wars are complex and multifaceted conflicts that arise from differing values, beliefs, and identities. They impact various aspects of society, including politics, education, media, and interpersonal relationships. Understanding the origins, dynamics, and impacts of culture wars is crucial for navigating the challenges of modern, diverse societies. By examining historical and contemporary examples, we see that culture wars can drive significant social change, but also cause deep divisions. The roles of media, technology, economics, and globalization highlight the interconnectedness of these conflicts with broader societal trends. Recognizing these connections is essential for addressing the root causes of cultural tensions. Resolving culture wars requires deliberate efforts to promote dialogue, empathy, and inclusivity. Education, respectful communication, and equitable policies can help bridge divides. Embracing diversity while finding common ground strengthens social cohesion and fosters a more harmonious society. As we move forward, the challenges of culture wars will continue to evolve. By committing to understanding and cooperation, societies can navigate these conflicts and build a future that honors both unity and diversity.